What's up, everyone? And this is Next Level Thinking.
What's up, everyone? It's another episode of Next Level Thinking, as how we always bring you tremendous amount of value to help you elevate to the next level. It's your host, Chris Holmes, and today I have a special guest by the name of
Orlando Santucci.
Awesome. So go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about yourself and where you coming from.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm from Australia, Brisbane, all the way across the world. And, so it's morning here. And what I do is I run Growthis Agency. We're one of the top rated Instagram growth and branding agencies. We help people scale with real followers, engagement. We can do press, websites, all of that good stuff. And basically all to help someone build a brand on Instagram. A lot of people have the problem where, they've got a lot of credibility in their state, in their city, maybe in-person marketing, but not so much on Instagram, not so much online. So we help people build that, and we do that, with tons of our strategies.
Makes a lot of sense with everything going on. Well, before we go in deep value about your business, let's know a little bit more about you personally. So, where did the inspiration come from? Did you just the internet, let me just dive in, or what's the story behind that?
Yeah, for sure, man. So I actually studied at one of the most prominent universities in my country, in Australia. And, after about 6 months, after a semester, I decided it wasn't for me, like a lot of people. And it was kind of as COVID hit, right? So just as we went into lockdown, I was like, damn, I need to find something online. I need to find a better way of making money, right? And then the side hustles come, you get all of these ads flooding into your inbox, right, of these gurus and things like that. So, long story short, I buy a few courses. It doesn't turn out the way you think it does, right? But from that, I've networked with a lot of people. I've networked with, hundreds of other entrepreneurs, other like-minded individuals, and really just connected with them. And that's how I stumbled across this opportunity.
Definitely true, especially with the way things have changed dramatically now. And I like how it's education now is completely different. If anything, it's more about acting on the present now, because I'm pretty sure just like your family, you were taught to go to school and all that and live, I was about to say American dream because you're in Australia. That's myself.
Yeah.
But that's the traditional thing. But nowadays it's more innovative. We have applications such as Instagram, technology. I mean, Zoom is now on a whole new level of demand and much more. And then we just have the recent push of Clubhouse. So what would you tell the audience now that may be kind of still cautious about taking advantage of these social media platforms and to push them to actually executing on it?
Yeah, for sure. And, it's not even what I say. It's what the greats say. It's what Gary Vee says. It's what, people like Grant Cardone say, right? Everything's going online. You look at something as simple as eating out, eating food, right? Uber Eats comes. We're getting food delivered to our doorstep. Right? Every company is innovating, making things online, making it easier for the consumer. And at the end of the day, if you're not, willing to put that effort into building your online presence, whether that's for your brand or that's for your business or whatever venture it is, right? You're going to fall short. You're going to fall behind. Maybe you won't see it now. Maybe you won't see it in the next 2 years, 3 years, but 5 years, 10 years, it's going to catch up. And that's what I would say.
I definitely agree with you with that. And then how you hit on the importance of just pushing through and in due time, that's when everything is going to happen. Because I know we want everything that happens right now quick, but when just something that's want to build a strong foundation, it takes time. And look at all these major brands like Nike, Jordan, Ralph Lauren, all that, much more Mercedes, very high-end brands have been established throughout time. But because they actually put the work in to build that direction, they can now live off of that or push forward through new innovation, just like Apple. There was a time, I'm gonna let you take advantage of this. It's when we were thinking cell phones, what the heck is that? We were using beepers and we used to clung in this big computer all the time. Now basically your whole computer is right at the palm of your hands now.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's why do people buy Apple? Why is someone willing to spend, that amount of money on that when there's so much other competition, when there's these Androids or Hawaii or whatever brand it is, right? Why do people buy Apple? Well, they've got that brand. Like you said, they've invested into their online presence. They do tons of marketing. They've establish this. And that's what Steve Jobs was all about, right? Building this premium product, building this premium brand. And that's why they're ahead, right? People are willing to pay that because they value it. They know that it's top tier. And that's the same with anything.
I can definitely agree with that. So, as we know, we're all in this internet world. What would you tell the more older audience? Now, if it's just me, I feel like a lot of the, it's that old money, and they probably looking at this like, what is this Instagram thing? Like, I'm so used to doing, I'm not lying, the traditional way, like, no, you should do it this way, referral or like that. And like, how is this going to make me money? Am I have all the statistics and much more? So what would you tell them? Because I guarantee you that's probably like when you're big clientele, or they're probably going to be looking at this video right now, like, what those kids talking about? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, there's plenty great things to take away from their generation, right? The way that they do business, the way that they build those relationships to get referrals and things like that. And that's all great. And I think we should all continue doing that as we run our businesses, right? And it's also about building that online presence. As we've spoken about, it's where it's going. Maybe people who are 50, 60, you can continue doing it the way you've been doing it because you've already got such a large clientele. If you're under that age, there's only so many referrals you can get. At the end of the day, you're going to have to find a new source of clients or business or customers, whatever business you're in, right? You're going to have to find that new gap, and social media is that gap, especially if you're part of that generation, right? And you can either sit by and do things the way that it's been done for the past 10, 20 years, or, you can adapt and you can really just go with the trend, play the game a little bit and reap the benefits from it.
Great way to answer that. Now I'm going to go ahead and toss back in your park again. So we're now in the internet age, and I know a lot of people are used to going to a traditional office to, get ready for work. But nowadays you can literally be in bed and be making thousands of dollars, and that will blow most people's mind. And not only that, some people will find that offensive. Now, I'm being completely transparent because they're so used to the traditional ways of clocking in that when they see someone just in bed, all right, cool, I did my thing, I'm going to bed, they'll probably get offended. So help them out with that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think it's kind of funny, right? That people would get offended by that. But I mean, that's just the way it is. With social media, with Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're marketing yourself, you can do it from your bed. You can do it just as soon as you wake up in your room, right? And that's where it's going. I mean, of course, in-person networking, in-person meetings are great. And it's a lot better of a connection than, say, you and I talking over Zoom. But, this is definitely something that's going to be more prevalent, especially when we're talking from all the way across the world, right?
Exactly. I'm here in the United States and you over there way in Australia.
Yeah.
Like back then, if I even thought about that, I was like, oh man, the surcharges that I'm about to face for making this call. I'm like, we're going to have to make this phone call about like 10 minutes because I don't need no big bill that's going to be outrageous.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So go ahead and put even more about the vision of your business so they can see even more value into it, because we talked about branding, the importance of it, and how it's changing the world and much more today. So I want you to tell the audience of how you can be the ultimate solution to help them take it to the next level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, we've already spoken about how important social branding is, right? And you can look at platforms like Clubhouse is coming up, or even TikTok, right? And look at how viral these places go. And the reason I would argue Instagram is the foundation to build, although you've got Clubhouse, although you've got TikTok, right? Just like how I message you, Chris, if you want to message someone through Clubhouse, through TikTok, you go straight to their Instagram. And that's what we do for people. You can build a following on these other apps, but at the end of the day, Instagram's kind of your business card, right? It's your portfolio. It's what you show to people to show your work. It's what people look at when they want to, go through you and review you. As well, there's LinkedIn, there is Facebook. I would say these platforms have been very prevalent for the past 10 years, 20 years, and they'll continue to be prevalent. Although it is moving to Instagram, and that's a trend we can see, right? Even with TikTok coming on, now you see Instagram adapting with Reels and these short videos. At the end of the day, it's owned by Mark Zuckerberg. I think he's going to try his best to maintain the top of the hierarchy, right? So if you did want to build your Instagram, right, why I would argue we are the best, like I said, we are actually the number one rated Instagram growth and branding agency. No one has the number of successful clients we have, the number of testimonials, the number of 8-figure, 9-figure entrepreneurs who not only work with us once, but continue to reinvest with us, continue to spend tens of thousands of dollars with us because they see the benefit of investing into their brand.
I completely agree. Ain't nothing bigger than investing into yourself. So, what are some of the common, let's say, I'm not gonna say questions, the fears that some customers have before they take that leap of faith because they're going, just like I said earlier, how some people were like, "Oh, what is this?" But like, tell me the top three, I guess, things you had to overcome when it comes to letting them use your services.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really thankful that you asked that, right? Especially being in Instagram growth, Instagram branding. There's so many people or these robots or these fake accounts that hit you up saying, 10K for whatever price, right? And they're not even in your country.
About $25. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, they're speaking a different language, right? And it kind of sucks for a company like us where we are trying to have that impact on the world, right? We are trying to have that effect on the society and world level and give back to the community when we've got kind of this negative connotation around growing Instagram followers, right? Everyone kind of thinks, oh, fake followers, it must be bots. Well, no, these are the same methods Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, like I mentioned earlier, used when they were building their brand, right? These celebrity campaigns. And really, instead of looking at it as buying followers, you're really investing into exposure. It's just like when I come onto a Zoom meeting with you and I'm getting exposure from your audience, or I'm being featured on press articles or whatever it is, right? And it's the same methods. I think that's one of the biggest hurdles for us is overcoming that negative connotation and really showing how we can, provide that value to them. I would say that's the biggest issue.
Yep. And it all comes just to add on to that, the mindset, because if you go into it with a negative mindset, like this isn't going to work, of course it's not, because you're already projecting the end result without giving it an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's like there's truth in what you believe in. So you have to actually invest and believe that this is going to be a great value to yourself so that you can exceed any kind of, rebuttal or whatever, so you can reach where you need to get to. And it all comes down to that. And if at the end of the day, the world in general has actually progressed through innovation, doing things that is not what has been constantly doing in a cycle. Look at Elon Musk. We over here sending not only let me back up some. This person is actually sending rockets into outer space without the government. Let me have to say it like that, because usually it was like a country government thing. Now this dude's like private companies, like whatever, y'all taking too long. I'll shoot up myself and then bring it back.
Yeah. And that's a primary example of government doing their projects, and that's great. But then also the power of private companies and them coming in and saying, hey, look, you're doing this too slow. I'm going to fund this. I'm going to do this on my own. Look, we can work together if you like, but I don't care. I'm sending rockets to space. And I think that's awesome, personally.
Good. I'm going to go ahead and toss the alley-oop, the importance of execution, because we can all have great ideas, be, rah-rahed up and much more. But at the end of the day, it's all about your execution. It's about taking action. Yep. So if you don't take any actions, all those thoughts are just going to be a thought. Everybody has thoughts. The person that teaches in the classroom, the garbage man, the person that's homeless, we all have thoughts, but it's all about the execution.
Absolutely. And I think a great quote, I'm not sure where I heard it, but is a lot of people say knowledge is power, right? And I would say knowledge is only really potential power. I think this is something Napoleon Hill touched on in Think and Grow Rich, right? At the end of the day, there's an abundance of knowledge. There's no shortage. There's as much knowledge on anything you can imagine, especially with the internet. So why isn't everyone rich? Why isn't everyone as successful as the knowledge that's out there? Well, not everyone takes action. Not everyone implements, right? Maybe you read a whole book on, finance or whatever it is, but you don't actually do any of the things. So in terms of the power of taking action, there are people who are less smart than you, who are not, having the foundations as you, who don't have the business ideas as you, and they're 10 times ahead because they simply took action, because they actually believed in themselves. They actually did the steps. They took the steps to achieve that success, right? Even without having necessarily the knowledge as some of these other guys, but who are too afraid to actually take action and put in the work.
I completely agree. And then just to even add on to what you're saying about, you don't always have to be the smartest person in the room. You can just surround yourself of anything. I encourage you to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, and just have everybody work together as a collective team, and then you'd be surprised how far you can get.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the most impactful decisions for me was not necessarily removing other friends, right? Or maybe people who are weighing me down, but limiting it, right? Maybe instead of going out every weekend with the same people and, going partying or whatever, maybe I hang out with people who have bigger goals than me. I surround myself with these other like-minded entrepreneurs, right? And maybe I still call them, I still spend time with them, I still speak with them, and I still hold those relationships, but it's not taking up as much time as it used to. And that's been a big difference for me. You are who you surround yourself with. You are your net worth, right? It's the famous sayings, and it's so true. Like when you surround yourself with other like-minded individuals, you start to think like them, act like them, and you really just produce the same results they have.
Excellent. So with that, I want you to go ahead and close it out with a closing comment and tell the audience where they can find you out much more. So this is your time to go ahead and pitch it out.
Absolutely, Chris. Yeah. So thanks so much for having me on. First of all, I love this discussion, a lot of value provided. And if any of your listeners were looking to grow their Instagram presence, looking to build a brand and not only build it, but actually monetize it, right? Actually make money from it, build one that can sell, you can always hit me up. My name is Orlando Santucci. So I've done a lot of talking. It's at the Orlando Santucci. I run Grow With Us Agency. Again, #1 rated Instagram growth and branding agency. If you wanted to hit me up, you can just find me there. That's my Instagram.
Awesome. Well said. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's another great and fantastic episode of Next Level Thinking. It's your host, Chris Holmes, and I have my special guest by the name of
Orlando Santucci.
Awesome. Make sure you subscribe. We're all on multiple different platforms, Apple, YouTube, Spotify, and much more. It's all about pouring into a tremendous amount of value so you can lift off and take it to the next level. Peace and much love, and let's elevate.
Awesome, brother.